Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching SAMAA News. Here are today's headlines. Iran has warned that its military will target Israel's Dimona nuclear facility if Israel and the United States attempt regime change in the Islamic Republic. A senior Iranian military official said Tehran would respond decisively to any foreign intervention or conspiracy aimed at toppling the government. The statement highlighted that Iran is prepared to go to any extent to defend its sovereignty and political system. Meanwhile, US and Israeli attacks on Iran intensified overnight, with bombings reported at several locations. According to officials, the number of casualties from the 5-day assault has exceeded 1,045. Moreover, an independent United Nations probe investigating rights violations in Iran condemned attacks by Israel and the United States on Iran, as well as Tehran's retaliatory strikes across the region, saying they violated the UN Charter. The UN Independent International Fact-Finding Mission on Iran said in a statement that the attacks, which were followed by Iran's retaliatory strikes across the region, run counter to the UN Charter. It also expressed deep shock over a strike that hit the Shajareh Tayyibair Girls' School in Minab in southern Iran on Saturday, the first day of the US and Israeli attacks. US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has said that his country is winning the conflict in Iran and can continue fighting as long as needed. During a Pentagon briefing, he said Iran could not outlast the US and that it was the US that sets the tone and tempo of the fight. Hegseth also said that US forces had killed an Iranian official accused of heading a unit behind an alleged assassination plot against President Donald Trump, though he said the target was not the original focus of the war. Separately, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs Dan Kane said that Iran is firing fewer missiles as the war progresses, adding that US strikes will now expand further inland. At least 80 people were killed when an American submarine sunk an Iranian warship in international waters off southern Sri Lanka. Sri Lankan officials believe 180 people were on board the frigate Iris Dina when it was attacked. They said the incident occurred outside its waters, but launched search and rescue operations after receiving a distress call, adding that 32 survivors were rescued and taken to hospital in Gaul. On the other hand, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has stressed the need for keeping a cool head over the Middle East conflict, acknowledging public concern about the escalation. Speaking in Parliament after fresh criticism from President Trump, Starmer said UK-US military coordination in the region reflected the special relationship in action. He said Britain had been liaising closely with Washington and had pre-deployed assets including air defence systems, counter-drone capabilities and F-35 fighter jets. China will boost defence spending by 7% in 2026, the lowest rate in 5 years, but still outpacing wider economic growth targets and the rest of Asia, at a time of growing regional tension, including over Taiwan. Premier Li Qiang said at the opening of Parliament's annual meeting that China will improve combat readiness and accelerate the development of advanced combat capabilities. He said in his work report, all these steps will boost Qin's strategic capacity to safeguard its sovereignty, security, and development interests. Chief of Defence Forces Field Marshal Asim Munir has said that peace between Pakistan and Afghanistan depends on the Afghan Taliban renouncing support for terrorism and militant groups. He made the remarks during a visit to Wana in South Waziristan, where he reviewed security along the western border and ongoing operations under Operation Ghazab Lil Haq. He said the use of Afghan soil by militants was unacceptable and that all necessary measures would be taken to neutralise cross-border threats. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching SAMAA News.